Okay, so, like I had stated before, this is another album ranking of one of my all-time favorite bands. I saw them many times in concert recently in 2018. And that band would be U2 from Dublin, Ireland. You know, it's your man Bono. Your man Bono and your man The Edge. You know, The Edge, the man with the hat wearer. And then you got Larry Mullen. And, Adam Clayton. Larry Mullen's the drummer boy. Adam Clayton, that's the guy who dates the models, you know? But anyway. So, number 14 studio albums over the course of since 1979. So, the album that comes in at number 14 for me would be How to Dismantle the Atomic Bomb. And as you can see, I don't have it. I do have it. I have it downloaded on my computer. I don't know what happened to it. Just kind of fell into the ether somewhere. Gone. It's probably mixed up with some other stuff. But anyway, I had the really good song Vertigo, which is one of their better hard charging rocking songs. And City of Blinding Lights is good, Miracle Drug. But for the most part, the album was Okay, so next up we have their album from a 96. Is it 96? No. 93. I was wrong. 93. We have Zooropa. Now this was a surprise album. I didn't even know it was coming out. It's okay. Kind of a continuation of Octu Baby. But anyway, it's got two of my all-time favorite songs on it, Zooropa and Numb. Now, Numb was actually written during Octu Baby, and I guess they just held it off. Maybe they just didn't feel it fit in the album. This was almost like just something they knocked off really quick after Octu Baby. I think they were still on tour, and this just popped out, but really good. Number 13. Number 12. Number 12, this is from the concert movie, Rattlin Home. Now, it's a live album. Usually don't include live albums, but half of it is studio. Half of it's studio. And it's got two of my favorite songs on here, Desire, and it also has Hawk Moon 269. Really cool songs. But the one key thing, God Part 2 is really good. God Part 2 is very important, because it showed the direction that U2 was going in. You could see they started using different effects on the drums and different sound effects in the guitars, and you could really hear it evident on U2's song they released for the Red and Blue. I think it was Red and Blue. It was a charity album. They did Cole Porter's Night and Day. That's where you could really see how they were progressing into the 90s with that one. Okay, so that's number 12. Number 11, All That You Can't Leave Behind, came out in 2000. This was kind of a return to form after their 1990s Eurotrash stuff, which, mind you, I loved. But this is another album. I just heard Beautiful Day on the radio. I wasn't really paying attention. I was like, wow, that sounds like U2. It's a good song. This is a good song. Side A is really, really good. It's got Beautiful Day, Stuck in a Moment, You Can't Get Out of, Elevation, Walk On, Kite. Good stuff. Gotta look at the glass, getting old. Anyway, good album. Good album. Return to Form came out in 2000. That's number 11. Now we're going into U2's top 10. Top 10 albums. Okay, so we have U2 October. U2 October is their sophomore album. It's got some of their, I like the album a lot. It's got two of their, my all-time favorites on here, Gloria. I like Stranger in a Strange Land. It's just a weird song, and I like it. And I like the song itself, the title track, October. It's a very haunting piano melody. They were still a bit of an underground band, or considered an alternative band when this came out. Still good. It's number 10. Okay. Number 9. This came out in 97. This is U2 Pop. And I remember they were in the Village in New York City, and they announced a tour for this album at the Kmart in the Village over by 8th Street. And I went down there, to get to see him. It was kind of an unannounced thing. Interesting though, right? But this album, when it came out, I was like, eh. But I've really kind of grown more to appreciate it. You know, songs like Discotheque, it's actually a really good song. It's cool. And Gone and Please and Wake Up Dead Man. I like it. I like the album. Really, 1997 this came out. So this is kind of the tail end of their 90s Euro stuff. Okay. Number 8. I don't know. I don't have the cover booklet. I don't know where it went. It's probably with How to Dismantle an Atomic Bomb just vanished. Who knows? In the ether. Anyway, this would be U2 War. Now, this is the album that broke them. This is when I first heard of them, New Year's Day. And that was one of the significant hits. Two Hearts Beat as One. 40 was also a big hit. That was a song that they used to play at the end of their concerts for many years. And they would just fade out that song. But this is what kind of brought them to the masses. Now, okay. So now we have number 6. Well, number 7. Number 7, The Unforgettable Fire. Now this is when they also started to change their sound a bit, because they had producer Daniel Lanois. And they added a lot more textures. This came out in 84, I believe. Yeah, 84. And this is what broke them into a giant stadium band, arena band. This album. I saw them on this tour. This was a good show. This was a really good show. But they had Pride in the Name of Love on here. 40, Bad, like I said, Bad, and the song The Unforgettable Fire, which to this day is one of my all-time favorites by them. Okay. Now we have 6 and 5. 6 and 5 I kind of like to include as one album. And they came out. This one, which is Songs of Experience and Songs of Innocence. Now, I saw them on the Experience tour in 2018. Great show, phenomenal. One of the best concerts I've ever seen. I like this. I consider them like companion pieces because it's almost like a double album. This came out in 2014. This came out in 2017. But they're like companion pieces. I prefer this one better. That's why I rated it higher as number 5. And this one was number 6. There's just so many good songs on here. Every Breaking Wave, Iris, Volcano, Raised by Wolves. That's off of this one. This one, I liked Ordinary Love Extraordinary Mix on here. It's like really cool. And Get Out of Your Own Way was one of the bigger songs on here. This is the better one, but it's almost like one album. One massive double album that was phenomenal. Okay, now we go to number 4. Their debut album, Boy. This Boy would also appear on the cover of the War album 2 years later. This was their debut album. Now they did have an EP prior to this. U2 123. Which had 11 o'clock TikTok on it. That's what they get out of control. But this had their anthem, I Will Follow, Electrico, and like I said, Out of Control. Great debut. 1980. Recorded in 79, I believe. Okay. And then we got their 80s magnum opus. 1987 is the Joshua Tree. I was supposed to see them on this tour, but I wound up going to California for a wedding, so I gave the tickets to my friend. This took them from arena act to massive worldwide heroes, 2 number ones, With or Without You, and I still haven't found what I'm looking for. Also another top 10 hit of Where the Streets Have No Name. But there's so many good songs on here. Bullet the Blue Sky. So many good songs. Bullet the Blue Sky. Red Hill Mining Town. One Tree Hill. In God's Country. You could just keep going. Every song on here is a classic. Top to bottom, listenable from side A to side B, from start to finish. The Joshua Tree, 1987's The Joshua Tree. Okay, so now we're going for number 2, which a lot of people wouldn't agree with. This is 2010's No Line on the Horizon. Now, I just happen to really like this album. The title track is awesome. Awesome. Very odd cover, right? That's the back. That's the back cover. You know, almost reminiscent of Linkin Park's Minutes to Midnight. Just whatever. Magnificent Moment of Surrender. I'll Go Crazy. Just a really solid album. No hits. No hits on it. Almost like an underground album. I don't think it was a big hit for them. I think they considered it a bit of a disappointment. But it will go down as one of their best albums, in my opinion. And this is my number 2. So obviously, the number 1 is pretty obvious. And that would be 1991's Octu Baby. This is when they completely changed their look. Started going for more of a introducing hip-hop beats and that whole dance music with the Fly and Mysterious Ways. Had a really massive hit on here one. But this is another album, start to finish. Fantastic. Saw him on this tour too. Saw him on this tour. I think it was at either Shea or Yankee Stadium. I forget. Went with this really hot-looking girl, Tamara. Oof, that was pretty cool. Anyway, yeah, Acrobat, one of my favorite songs. So Cruel, one of their most underrated songs. So Cruel. Right here, Octu Baby, 1991. One of the greatest years for rock albums to come out. You know, never mind. Red Hot Chili Peppers. The list goes on. Smashing Pumpkins. Pearl Jam. 91. But I'm getting off on a tangent. It's about U2. This is their number 1 album to me. And it's probably a number 1 album for a lot of people. A lot of people. Now, what I'd like to do possibly is their top 10 B-sides. I think I'll do it next. Their B-sides are almost as equal to a lot of their album tracks. Just top to bottom, great stuff. So there's my U2 ranking their 14 albums. From worst to best, last to first, favorites to least favorites. They're all good though. If I'm wrong or out of place, or if you have a different opinion, put it down there. I'd also, once again, like to shout out P. Pardo and Sea of Tranquility for kind of not really giving me the idea because I've seen it before, but the way he does it is great. Sea of Tranquility. Subscribe to that channel. It's really good stuff.